G'day everyone, welcome to my first how-to guide on my GQ Patrol. So I'm going to be doing the front brakes. So, well, just front brake pads really. So nothing really too technical, but obviously first step, want to jack up your car, get that front wheel off, or both front wheels off actually, but hey, we'll just do one at a time. So these are a pretty simple setup. You've got your slide pins, top and bottom. So undo the bottom one, we'll slide the caliper up out of the way, push the piston back in the caliper, new pads in, and done. So having the steering drag link in the way kind of gets in the way of getting a socket in there quite easily, so I'm just going to use a ringy and just undo them. So it's a 17mm as well. I can't remember whether I mentioned that or not, but yeah, so we'll just rip that out, and then in theory this whole thing should slide up and rotate around out of the way. So to make things a little bit easier for yourself as well, it doesn't hurt to rotate the caliper all the way around. So what I'm going to do here is, so this is just a little bit tight, so I'm just going to see if that's going to budge with my pry bar, which no problem. And just lever that up and out of the way. And we can just rip these pads straight out. Got some anti-squeal plates there, and that one's going to come out nicely. There we go. And we've got another little anti-squeal plate there, and another one up the top there. With this up, I just use a G-clamp just on here, basically just to screw the piston back into place. While you're pushing those in, it's worth just sucking out any excess fluid out of the brake reservoir, or you can crack the bleed at the caliper. It's up to you which way you do it. You know, doesn't really make much difference either way. It's pretty much the same process as nearly every other set of brakes I've done. There's nothing special about these at all. Piston is all the way in. You can give everything a bit of a clean up. I'll just throw a little bit of brake grease just on these surfaces here. You don't need too much at all. Drop our new pads in. Those sit in there. Alright, so the retaining clips, just make sure these are all the way sort of seated down, and that way you just have to line that caliper up and drop it down into place. So before you throw your caliper back on, it's a good idea just to check your slides. Now this bottom one, reasonably free, but the reason I took the caliper off there is this top one is, like, it moves, but it's kind of seized up. So we're going to pull these guide pins out and we're going to give them a bit of a clean up. If I can remember where I put my pair of pliers. So these should just pull straight out. Just make sure I can pull this rubber boot off. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to give that a clean up and a bit of a lube, and we'll pull this top one out and we'll do the same thing with that one as well. So I just use a bit of Bendex brake lubricant, put it up the right way for you there. You really don't need much on these. It's one of those things where it's kind of a less is more kind of thing is a bit better. So I'll just work that in, and you can see that's nice and free now, a lot better than what it was. Right. Clean up the top one, and we'll put that one in as well. So that top slide is back in, and as you can see, that is a lot freer than what it was before. So minimal effort. So now is time, we'll just throw these retaining clips in. Now these, you can see with the shape of them, they've got this little tang that goes to the center, so top and bottom, and they just slide in place. Now push them all the way down to this flat bit meets with your anchor caliper or your main bracket. Same with the top, otherwise your caliper won't fit on. It's not a bad idea as well, just to throw a bit of brake grease on these surfaces. Certainly doesn't hurt. Same with up there and up there. Then the caliper slide bolts. Now they have a torque of 22 to 30 Newton meters, I believe it was from memory. So I'm just going to torque those up to about the midway. What have I got it at? 24. I'll go to 26 Newton meters. 26 is not super tight. I might have to just straighten that up just so I can get the. I might get it from the top actually. No. Straighten it up, and I can get my torque wrench in just with a small extension. The whole lot's just a repeat on the other side, exactly the same process. Pretty easy, dude. Before you go for a drive, just pump the brake pedal a couple of times just to get that caliper to seat in properly, and you should be all good. Bed in procedure as well. Your brake pad should have a little sheet of paper. Will tell you instructions on how to bed them in, but essentially just get up to about 60 k's an hour and generally hit the brakes pretty hard. You want to do that 10 times in a row. You want to get some heat into these front brakes. It's basically getting the liner of the pad onto the disc. That's the theory anyway, and basically letting it wear into any particular grooves and whatnot. Once you finish with all that, pretty important, take it for a drive for a couple of kilometres without hitting the brakes as little as possible. Let them cool off, and then you're good to go. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give a like, share, thumbs up, all that bay stuff. Like and thumbs up, same thing. What I mentioned it twice, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one.